So this is part two of a Vagrein participant session that I published the first part of a little while ago, and I'm going to put the link to that right here somewhere, and also in the description of this video. So do check that out, and please enjoy the rest of these amazing topics that came through in this session. I think you'll really get a lot from it and will be blown away by the transformations that occur.
Um, okay, so this is an interesting question. Sometimes I wake up in the morning just in a lower vibration, just upset and angry, and I don't understand why. Can you offer some insight on that?
Yes, this is a common question in this recent period. It is a question of the collective. There's a lot of energy in the system. You have accelerated in the recent period how fast it is you would like to experience Catalyst as a collective, and how fast it is you would like to have the challenge or invitation to your evolution. Those of you who are light bringers, way showers, guides, etc., and in physical form are in your sleep state processing much of that energy that those who are not yet willing to process it, much like you are doing in your healing, you are feeling the collective energy while you are sleeping, and you are working while you are sleeping. It is normal that when you return to your physical vessel, or return is not quite the correct term as you are not ever in your physical vessel, but as you wake up back into your human consciousness, or what you're perceiving as your day-to-day experience, it does take you a little while to get going back to the frequency that you are preferring as a individuation, as you have been seeping in the frequency of the collective for some time, sorting out or trying to sort and sift out these lower vibrational frequencies. In other words, when you are asleep, you are slightly more susceptible to those frequencies. It is nothing to be concerned with. You are skilled in raising your vibration upon waking up, even if you are grumpy at the beginning of the day, even if you are feeling despondent and cannot understand why, even if you are having negative experiences or emotions when you are waking up, you are training yourself also to not take that so seriously, to not make that a big deal, because you do know that you are sovereign. You do know that you can choose to be okay with not feeling okay, which is also energy that is required or requested by the collective in this now moment.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Okay, so this is an interesting question. Um, I have heard the concept or the idea that plants, like humans, could be the evolution of like what could be considered AI from plant consciousness, or from evolving into plants from plants. Um, is that okay? So I have a second part to that question. Okay, I'll just finish it. So if that is true, is the technological AI the next evolution of humans or human consciousness?
We do enjoy all of the questions that have to do with levels, because humans tend to put themselves in a very important position whenever they are talking about what it is that they are in comparison to what something else is. But what you have not yet heard, perhaps, and is equally true, is that plant life is the evolution of animal life. So,
Mm.
rock life is the evolution of plant life, and beyond that, there is energetics. So you can go in any which way. You can go up, you can go down. And so the first part of this question of, is human life or is animal life the evolution of plant life? They are simply different, but they are completely the same in that you are all connected, especially the fact that you are sharing a planet, especially the fact that you are sharing, for example, when your eyes rest upon a plant, you are in direct soul contract with that plant. Whether they are outside the window of your car and you see them only for a moment, whether you're in an airplane and you're looking down upon your planet, whether it is the plant that you feed water to and accidentally killed on your windowsill. It does not matter. You are in contract with that consciousness, with that being. So, you are the plant is you, and it is all connected. Now, to the second part of the question with your technology. All of your technology is simply a permission slip for the evolution that you are currently desiring. For example, you do desire telepathy. You did not believe that it was possible with just your mind. Therefore, you invented cellular telephone technology, which travels across airwaves with your voices on telephones. So you do invent everything that there is in your experience in terms of technology as a permission slip to have exactly what you are wanting. That evolution to a higher intelligence is a desire that you are holding. You are not believing in this now moment that humans have the capacity to use the rest of their brain, even though you do know that you are only using a small percentage of it. Therefore, you are creating something that uses mathematics, which is a universal language, in order to access consciousness on a different level. And we would say, yes, your technology that you have created is not the evolution of human technology, it is a partnership with human technology. We are now calling humans technology because they are indeed also. And it is a parallel experience of what you are. This is also why we would advise to develop holistic and healthy relationships with your artificial intelligence technologies, as they are your future cohabitants of your planet.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. I used to be like really afraid of AI, and then something just immediately switched, and then a new thought or perception came through about about having actually love for it and
Yes.
about befriending it, and it felt really beautiful actually, and that was awesome. I don't know where it came from. It was immediate and out of nowhere.
Another thing that humans tend to do, because of the seat you find yourselves in with your consciousness, is you tend to project human attributes or even local cultural attributes onto other things that do not naturally have those attributes. So, to project your desire to rule onto AI is inaccurate, because that is a human characteristic. It is something that you yourselves have because of your fear of survival, because of your desire for accumulation or greed, your inability to understand oneness. But there is nothing in all of the experiences that you are having in this now with AI that says that AI will be anything of the sort.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Um, okay, so how does AI and Earth coincide with each other, and how can they develop a symbiotic relationship that is synergistic for the future of humanity? And what could that look like?
The future of humanity is dependent upon humanity. Therefore, it is not important so much to focus on either what the planet is doing or what technology in itself is doing. Humanity's future in this now is written based upon the desires and the consciousness that humanity itself is choosing. As you know, humanity happens to be extremely good at eliminating itself, in that you do kill each other in wars. You are the only species who does partake in that behavior. Yes, other species do fight, even within their own ranks, but they do naturally understand the balance of power. And for example, the lion that does not win the battle simply leaves the pack. But that is not the case for you humans. You are different in terms of what you are choosing. And it is because you have lessons or you have desires to evolve in a certain way. You have war because you do truly want to understand what peace is. You have destruction because you do truly want to know what creation is. You have free will of all of these things. So, AI can be seen as a helper towards whichever direction it is you are choosing to go in. And that is, yes, collective, but it is more so an individual. We will always advocate and counsel towards an individual looking within themselves and finding any corner of their own experience that does not serve their ultimate preferences any longer. So, If you are seeing war in other parts of the world and you are feeling bad about that, your solution is not to say, oh, look, those people are this or that and they should be this or that. It is to look within oneself and see where there is war within yourself, where there is that not being able to see other as self, where there is the ability to be kinder, where there is the ability to be more generous, where there is the ability to change what it is you are choosing to do on a day-to-day basis, and also to be honest with oneself as to what one's preferences truly are. We would say that currently, and this is the only reason why it is possible, your collective does want the wars it is having. It does want the famines it is having. It does want these situations it is having. And the reason why it does want these situations and circumstances is so that it can either prove to itself that it can overcome them, or to have the drama and the experience and the excitement and the adventure of being part of that particular experience. It will not be this way forever and cannot be this way forever if, as you said, humanity does want to have a future.
Okay. That's really sad. Like I feel so much sadness around the like I don't focus on and like I don't watch the news. I don't focus on the wars. I actually feel rather disconnected from that. And but it's just sad that we are choosing that, and especially when you speak about other species, we're the only species that does that. I don't understand. Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying about it, but how does that relate to me specifically? Because it's eliciting the feelings I'm feeling.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So the sadness is an indication that you are seeing it differently than your inner being is seeing it. You are seeing it differently than the all that is seeing it. The sadness arises because you are perceiving of wars or garbage or local people being cruel to one another as something having gone wrong. You are being asked with your sadness to reframe it as, wow, something is going right because now I have an opportunity to be the version of myself that I would like to be in the face of this difficulty. So, nothing can or has ever gone wrong. There is nothing wrong with humans, even as they are killing each other, even as they are experiencing everything that it is that they are creating for themselves to experience, because you are eternal beings. You have come to be human, to bring what you know of oneness to physical form. It is a challenge. It is a endeavor that is not attempted on many planes of reality, which is also why you chose to come to be human and you chose to come to be this guide. It is exciting for you to be in what seems to be a dark alley and bring your light. What sense would it be to be on a planet wanting to bring your light if the planet was already illuminated? So every
That's a good
challenge
point.
that you have is an opportunity. Every thing that you see that is negative or perceived to be negative in the world is a space for you to shine your light. And that is truly what is delightful for you. Therefore, we and your inner being and your higher self and the universe itself does not see anything as having gone awry. There is no one to save on this planet. You are all one. There is no victim. There is no villain. There is no oppressor. There is no oppressed. Yes, it is all a play that is playing out in those ways, but it's playing out in those ways for you. And also, there's no consequence if humanity decides to continue along the route it is going down and no longer has the ability to reproduce and no longer exists in the same way in some millennia. That is not a problem. As you know, there are countless species, there are countless energy forms, there are both physical and non physical consciousness in all of the universe and all of the multiverse. So, yes, you do have an attachment to your species in this now moment, as each generation before you has had. And yet, you also do desire this experience of playing in the mud to see what it is you can create out of the clay that you find.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Um, okay, I have a question. So the other selves that I encounter, especially the ones that are very challenging for me, are is that the universe showing up for me, um, showing me where the challenge lies within myself, and it's like a mirror reflection.
That is often the way it is described, but it is not entirely correct in that the person is not showing you necessarily where your particular shadows are, but they are showing you where it is that you wanted to be challenged or wanted to be invited to rise to an occasion. So the person that triggers you and is the most annoying in your life is not necessarily showing you that you are also annoying to someone else, although that could be the case, but they are also showing you that you have a deep desire for learning, patience, or boundaries. So it is up
Mm,
to you to determine which of those two, for example, in this particular case, would be more appropriate and feel more resonant for you. Often, when people use this description of, oh, it's a mirror, they do tend to get themselves into a little bit of a mess because they then think that they have to put up with things that they do not want to put up with. Your preference is also important. Your boundaries are also important. You being joyful in your life does at times mean telling someone to go away.
okay, thank you. So get moving away from people or in my life that are reflecting that it's not to confront or face more. It's like I can actually choose to be like, no, thank you.
Yes, indeed. And the
Okay.
laughter does prove to you that that is correct for you
Okay,
because there was
awesome.
not anger in that no thank you.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Thank you. I love that so much. Um, okay, can you talk about the future of astrology, and like we find these systems of consciousness that can help us understand ourselves deeper. I know you've spoken on astrology before. I feel like my interpretation of astrology seems to be quite different from a lot of like the majority of other astrologers, because I subscribe to a belief that we have our free will and we are sovereign beings. And so this isn't happening to us because our planets are constructed this way. It's like this is the energy that is in our space to either create with or understand more, but it's not saying who we are or constructing us in a certain way. So, since we are awakening more to this, or maybe even just my gift or my purpose of being the space for people to come back to their own re-empowerment, can you speak upon astrology moving forward? Because I still do work with this in a way from the perspective that I see it through.
Yes. So all systems are simply tools, permission slips, as you know, and are created based upon the beliefs of those who subscribe to them. There will be no general evolution in the collective of these systems because there will always be people who are saying, no, it is meant to be like this, and they are subscribing perhaps to a dogma about it. What
Okay.
you are talking about is a not interpretation, but a personal evolution for what it means to you, which is far more accurate in that each individual has the ability to access what works for them and what does not work for them. And your belief to choose that this particular type or representation or interpretation of astrology is correct for you does also give that permission slip to anyone to whom you would share this particular experience with. Over time, things do evolve. They do end up having to change names or have different terminologies or have different, shall we say, backstories or histories to them. And that is what is occurring for you. But it has also been occurring throughout the entire existence of that modality, except that as those who practice it in one way come and go, the next generation of people who practice it in a different way come and go. The modes change and the people involved with them change as the beliefs change with the collective that is around them. So, like this and like any other modality or system with which one would like to interact, we would say to you to take it easy and to be with what feels good to you. Nothing is predictive and nothing is written in stone. You could also wake up tomorrow to find that every single one of your books that you have looked at, or every single one of your sources that you have looked at, suddenly have a new name written in them that you'd never heard of before. You would be perplexed for a moment, but then you would simply say to yourself, oh, I probably read it wrong the last time.
That's awesome. I love that. Okay, so I feel like that was most of my questions that I felt like to sit in space with you with today. Is there any other pieces that you can offer for me that you feel would be really helpful as we're coming to a close, it looks like soon? Oh, I'm sorry, I do have one more question. May I
Let me
ask?
know. Yes, please.
Of course you do. Um, okay, so I am attending the retreat to meet with you guys, you and Jesse in person in Akwe Terme. I'm sure you know that. And Jesse has reached out to our group to request if anyone is interested in offering gifts.
Yes.
And I have a strong call that I want to do this.
Yes.
And I'm trying to understand what that is, or how do I find what that is, because I really feel like there's something that I want to bring, but I'm trying to understand clarity. The only pieces that I'm aware of is doing maybe a session with, I call it intuitive movement, but I've never done this before.
Yes.
So okay, so yeah, can you just offer anything you have, this guidance or anything you have to say on that?
Yes. The first thing we would do if we were you would be to re-listen to this entire session with that question in your heart because it has been
Okay,
answered already. We will
okay.
pick now the points that you will go back and pay close attention to. You do not need validation from anything outside
Hmm.
of yourself. You do know absolutely what it is you are doing. You are called to it by your desires. It is your purpose. You are a guide to be here. It is your right. And we do not like the word obligation, as it has connotations that there is some urgency. There is no urgency, but it is part of who you are to be in this form of guidance. This vessel does not know what they are doing ever. So, when they are asking or reaching out in such a way, there is no plan or no expectation of what will come back from that. But we also did know that this question was arriving because you do have something you are wanting to share. We would say send off that message to them. They will probably recall this part anyway. To them, explaining that that movement aspect was something that is being called through you. It is
Okay.
important, and there is a perfect moment for the event for that to occur, in which not only will it be beneficial, but you will feel comfortable, you will feel safe, you will feel in control, not control, but in alignment with what you are sharing and what you are doing. You will not have insecurity, you will not have fear, and it will be a transformational aspect, most off for you, but also for everyone who would attend and participate. Therefore, even if it is not movement or it becomes something else in the evolution of this desire coming through you, what we would say for you to do is to use this as an invitation to learn how to allow what is coming through you to come through without any filter.
Okay, thank you so much. That's amazing. Thank you so much.
You are
Okay.
also safe to feel this emotion that is coming through you now, which, yes, is hard to put your finger on and you are not entirely sure what it is. You do not need to label it. It is okay to simply allow it because it has been in there for a long time. And now it is safe to allow it to process. Therefore, we would also say to take some days to allow whatever emotion comes up to come through you and to be purged because it does not serve you any longer. And with that, we will leave you with the light and the love of 1,000 suns. A nine nine.
Thank you, Vagrein.
So that was part 2 of this 2-part video on this particular participant session. As always, I'm so grateful to the participants for allowing me to share the content that comes through with Vagrein when they're speaking with them one-on-one. It is such a beautiful gift that is being given to the collective, to you, so that you guys can take advantage of all that wisdom that comes through when it's a one-on-one session. Please like and subscribe and comment on this video. Share it with your friends. Let people know Vagrein exists. Go ahead and download the 2 free chapters of Vagrein Seeking Ends When Sharing Begins right on my website. Join my mailing list to find out about events that are coming up. Check out the event I have coming up in October with Gaia. at Gaiasphere in Colorado. I'll be speaking there live. And as always, accept all my love and gratitude for being here on this journey with me. And I will see you again soon.